Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Emerge 5. This week we have gone on the road and we're in the Igloo Vision offices, as you can see behind me. And today we're going to be talking about the top 5 collaborations for immersive technology. Natalie, thank you for joining me today. You are the first person I get to speak to in person post-lockdown, so it's exciting for me to be here, and I'm loving the space that you guys have got, and I'm excited to delve into the top 5 uses that we can find. But I think it's good if we start, if you can maybe just tell our audience a little bit about Igloo Vision and how it came to be.
So Igloo Vision is the shared immersive workspace company, and the very basic idea is that we create technology that takes any digital content, whether it's web-based, whether it's virtual reality content, immersive content, or any of the tools any companies use in their day-to-day lives. We put it into a shared immersive workspace just like this one. We create spaces that can be cylinders or domes, rooms like this, and we can also take our technology and put it into any existing room. We have offices all over the world, so we can deliver this technology to any company, any organisation, even schools, colleges, universities that are looking to get the benefits of immersive content and immersive technology in a space like this.
Amazing stuff. I'm excited to get started, so let's kick off with number 5. Okay then, so at number 5, we're talking about Agile Prototyping. So walk me through some of the benefits of that we're seeing here.
So the Igloo technology integrates with kind of a whole range of different software. Our technology integrates out of the box with all sorts of different kinds of software that's used by those clients. So this example was built in the Unity game engine. And why it's so powerful is you can interact with it, move around it, and get whole groups of people inside the space to look at the same content at the same time. So if it works in the VR headset, quite often we can make it work inside one of these spaces. So rather than having to look at it on a small laptop screen, or even like a large TV screen at one end of the room, or one person in a VR headset, the whole group gets inside and everyone can talk about the same thing at the same time.
So number 4 here, we're talking more of the collaboration element. So it's the ideation, the blue skying. Talk to me about the best way that this can kind of integrate with a team, for example.
So the big benefit, again, of an immersive workspace is you're getting kind of whole teams inside, tools like this. So what we've got up in the walls right now is Miro, which is an online-based kind of like whiteboarding ideation tool. We've got our own Igloo web browser, which takes any website and can display it in 360. So it doesn't have to be just Miro. It could work with tools like Mural or Stormboard. You could bring up tools like Trello, Microsoft Planner, all that kind of thing. And all the tools that teams already use for their project just work inside a space like this. The reason this is so powerful is that it's an self-enclosed space. You're literally surrounded by all the things you would usually be using, and you have much more information on the walls all around you, so it's easier to kind of point things out, draw conclusions, kind of draw links between different things. This particular example is actually used by our sales team quite often. So because it's web-based, we've got up in our Igloo web browser. People who are dialing in remotely, or people who've got their own devices like their own phones or laptops, they can join the whiteboarding session as well and interact with all of the content. So it's a really powerful way to kind of capture everything that they need to in like a needs analysis or a discovery session.
Okay, number 3 is everyone's favorite subject of data. So how does this help from a data visualization perspective and also a interrogation element of that?
So yeah, pretty much every organisation these days has data that they're generating all of the time, and sometimes it's very difficult to draw insights from that data. Again, especially when it's kind of trapped behind a small screen, even with visualizations, it's still difficult to really make sense of them when they're just like on a laptop screen, just looking at it, can't quite understand. So the benefit of having it in a workspace like this is it literally surrounds you. Again, you can see more of it at the same time, get groups of people looking at it, and just be able to discuss it much more easily. You can work with all kinds of different types of content. So this particular example was created by some of our friends at EMEA Analytics and shows the locations of bars in Chicago. But you could use tools like Esri, you could use other tools like Tableau. Again, any web-based content just works natively inside the Igloo.
Now, at number 2, I think one of the most kind of obvious uses would be engaging presentations. So what's the benefit of really having an immersive presentation environment?
You get your point across much more effectively, and people remember it. I think we've all kind of like sat through those, sort of slide decks or proposal decks. They're 50 slides long. You've got someone tapping through, and you're just kind of there like, oh, you're droning on and on. I don't want to listen to any of this. In a space like this, you're literally surrounding the people you're presenting to with the points you're trying to get across, and it's much more engaging. You can move around the space as well. You can obviously kind of come around, point out the things you're talking about. It's a really effective way as well if you've got kind of lots of information to get across, or you've got things like infographics or timelines. Rather than having to kind of skip through a few different slides, you have it running all around you. It's a much more engaging way to present to people, and it leaves a much more lasting impression.
And finally, at number 1, we're talking about remote collaboration and video conferencing. Also, everyone might be a little bit sick of that over the past 16 months, but now we're all back together and talking. This is a great tool to be able to use that in an office environment. So talk to me about how this can be beneficial.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously over the past kind of year or so, we've had to adapt to everyone working from home. At the moment, a lot of companies are figuring out people are going to be at home full time, are they going to be in the office? And it's probably going to be a really big mix across workforces where people are going to do some of one, some of the other. So it's really important to be able to work well with those colleagues wherever they're based. So what we've done is we've created a video conferencing solution. And as you can see up on the wall behind me is my colleague Laura. And this is coming in via a Microsoft Teams call right now. It doesn't have to be Teams. It can work with Zoom. It could work with Google Meet, WebEx, whatever chosen conference platform a company wants to use. The other powerful thing about it is, as we kind of already discussed, because we can work with web-based collaboration tools, you could have your colleagues up on the wall and also dialed in or logged into tools like Miro or Mural, all interacting with the content at the same time. We would have this set up with a wide-angle camera, so whoever's dialed in up on the wall, they get a really good view of everyone in the space, and you could have obviously multiple people dialed in at the same time, so you have a tile of faces on the wall opposite you.
And that's a wrap on this week's Emerge 5. Thank you so much for joining us and watching this episode, and thank you to everyone at Igloo Vision for hosting us here today. If you want more information on what we discussed, make sure you check out the link in the description below. We'll be back next week, of course, with another episode in the Emerge 5 series, but in the meantime, you can join the conversation at EM360Tech on Twitter and LinkedIn, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and for more great daily content, please head on over to em360tech.com.